play on the front line. And so I love the pick here, the adjustment, not just falling back onto that affiliate sit. Granted, scales well, is a strong pick, can fit right in today's meta, but they understand, hey, the Kaisa fits with what we want to do, the way we want to fight, much better. Let's go with that. And I love that adjustment here from the side of Kabum, and I think it is going to do them a lot of favors. And also, again, Red Canids picked the Nautilus R2, so like they're fine. Everything's good.
Yeah, everything's fine, right? Red have thrown this game, and we're going to game 5.
Yep.
It's gonna be really good. But no, I don't know. I mean, it's almost like a whole new series, right? Without the J4, um, but you have Wiz on Lee Sin, and argued since the beginning that that is comparable, if not much more. Productive for Wiz. He's able to make use of this a lot better than he is the J4. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this one goes squarely to Kaboom in a series where drafts have not really leaned one way or the other so far. Should look for. Not really sure what they're doing here in the mid lane. Having a dance party, looks like.
Yep, having a good time there.
Yeah, just I guess try not to get invaded. I don't know what that was. Them having fun. Fun is not allowed. Let them
Fun.
fight.
Give me some blood at
Yeah, right.
level 1.
I don't know who they're interviewing right now, but he's wearing a t-shirt with a tie, and big respect. I think it's cool.
What is that fit, my man?
You know what?
Oh no.
You go ahead. He's eating. He's
I
eating it.
mean,
I think it's
hey,
good.
it's better than the interview earlier. I think it's Kaboom's coach, his hair. My guy's got to hit that with a little bit of product.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying,
Yeah, right.
Respect. You guys can coach League of Legends for sure. Um, Dressing yourselves, still some work to be done there, but we'll figure it out.
We can
Uh,
review it. We can review it in
yeah,
the VOD
yeah,
review.
yeah. We'll do some replays here. We'll take another look at it, but a little bit of trading in the solo lanes here early on. Why are we flaming fashion, Camcom? Because I want to make myself feel better when I roll into work in a t-shirt and sweats. That is why.
Because sometimes something comes up on screen and it stops you from being able to analyze, so there's nothing else to do. You just have to bring it up, and that's what happened there. I mean, at least the colors were core. We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop there. Looking for the opening here. They hit level 2 around the same time, but just keeping in mind, Jinx, I believe, has a narrow, not narrow actually, but pretty significant range advantage over Desave and Kaiser. So those first couple levels, maybe even this entire lane, should just go squarely over to Teton. With that range advantage. Depends what we see Skuro and JoJo do with these roaming engage supports, right? I mean, if you're leaving lane all the time, that does open up Desave to go in for the all-in. But so far in this series, we've seen that 1v1, that head-to-head go to Teton. So, who knows?
We will find out. Parang early push here on the Jace, which is no surprise. Of course, Parang has been punished twice in this series for these early pushes and has given up first blood in the first 2 games. Was able to change that in game 3, but maybe the answer is, Parang getting first blood. It means you win the game. So, maybe he just keeps pushing and they'll take the tactical L early in the game. We'll find out. But Aegis going to be able to grab that bot lane. Scuttle Crab going to go for the recall. Both mid laners going to elect to do the same. And now here 4 minutes in, not a whole lot to write home about. Both teams just focusing on CSing, getting these waves in the right spots. Less than a minute until this first strike. So we'll have to see if either of these teams can get things rolling and grab that first neutral objective.
Yeah, here's the hoping, right? We've been having some pretty early dragons so far this split in CBLOL. Wiz up topside and the Lee Sin. Ooh.
Oh, Guigo able to sidestep the Q there from Wiz and will escape from trouble. Aegis up here. A little late, but it doesn't matter because his top laner has survived. Did cost the flash there of Guigo. Important to note that summoner spell not available, but Guigo should be A-okay here for a little while.
Yeah, he should be okay, and just keep in mind that Flash isn't coming up anytime soon. So yeah, you see Wiz stick around for a
Oh,
little bit here. You have to know he's in the bush. There's no way Prank sticks around with no mana unless he's
he
in the bush.
canceled the recall. Aegis is here. Red may
Yeah, they
think
know.
they have something here, but oh no! The Q from Wiz not going to land. The Fear also not going to complete. They're onto Wiz. He's just able to avoid the slow thanks to his spell shield there. Brang gonna take a lot of
Oh,
damage.
this is
Wiz
it.
trying to get in there. It is first blood. Guigo may be soon to fall in return. Wiz will trade back a kill, but it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Red Canids. A double kill for Aegis. Meanwhile,
Let's go to
House
answer back.
and Grevthar fighting here. House gonna get out of trouble as Grevthar gets traded back, and we're all good.
Yeah, everything equalizes there. Parang gets first blooded once again. Just steps up a little bit too far there, and you hate to see it really, but good movement from Wiz to trade that back again. We've seen this song and dance before. It's just, unfortunately, this time Wiz goes down for his sins. Aegis picking up both of those kills. So what does a Nocturne do with a double kill there right at the start of the game? We will have to find out. It starts with a pickaxe so far. See where he goes from there. Still heavy training up top side. You have two big lane bullies that it's kind of a skill matchup, right? So, um, who wins? I don't know. I guess whoever runs out of health first, right?
Yeah, and to answer your question, I feel like that first Nocturne ultimate is always very scary, but you put a couple of kills on top of that for Aegis, and that is going to be a very terrifying level 6 here from Aegis. He is going to spot out Wiz here with the bottom lane nearby, maybe looking for it. The dredge line not going to land as Wiz able to dash out of trouble with Skuro waiting in the wings, and Aegis will hold on to that ultimate for now, but takes the bot lane Scuttle Crab and may have his eyes set on this first Drake very soon.
Al's roaming up top side, just going to find a ward for his trouble. I don't think there's a dive here in the works. You still have ult up there for Malphite, so a lot of safety for him there. It's good to get that ward swept out. Meanwhile, Grevthar pulling ahead in the CS numbers. You don't like that if you're House. You want to put a stop to that as soon as possible. Hopefully can clean up this wave and bring that back to equal here, but it's 1,000 gold advantage so far for Red. Haven't talked about gold leads too much in this series. It's been just that close, right? There hasn't been too much to really bring up. It's, every single game we've had so far, teams are just really, really close until right at the end, and then they're not, right? But this game looking to be no different as that gold lead closes, even as I talk about it. So under 1,000 now, just like 500 or so. Aegis looking for the dive. Wiz is here for, I guess, the counter dive. Yeah.
Oh, they're going to get right in there, kick onto Guigo, but they aren't going to be able to finish up the kill. They actually juke out the Unstoppable Force there, and that's going to be the flash in from Parang to secure the kill. Traded back immediately. The kill goes to Grevthar, and House is up here, but they're not going to be able to trade back. 1-for-1 in the top lane as both top laner goes down. Meanwhile, down to the bottom lane, we're going to fight once again. Skrull going in onto Teton. Desalve going to get knocked up. This could be big trouble here. Skrull gonna get the stun there though onto Teton, but flash over the wall. The zap gonna land. A lot of damage from Desalve. Can he finish this off? Oh, they trade back. One kill goes to Teton, the other to Skrull, and we are bloody in the first 10 minutes.
We sure are. 7 kills up here. We've had games so far where there weren't more than like 3 or so. So yeah, it's one of the bloodier games for sure in this series. Both teams not wasting any time. Kabum trying to open early, open hard, and come in fast here. They've had limited success. Down 1 kill to Red, and down about 1,000 gold as well on top of that. So need to start playing catch up a little bit here. I'm not sure if their comp is designed to do that though. I think they have to play through Parang if they want to catch up.
Yeah, they may have to do that. The Jace though, going to be a difficult way to play here. 1-2-1
really
early on, and stacking that tier. Yeah. The other hard part is that the Jace can really start to fall off, and if Guigo can get going, really the Jace becomes a non-threat in the side lanes when he's matched up with the Malphite. Also is going to be very susceptible to getting picked off in the side lanes when there's a Nocturne and a Malphite on the other team. So this is going to be a difficult game to play if Kabum can't really right the ship here soon and get things rolling. So we'll have to keep an eye on things. First Drake picked up by red Canids here. That's going to be the Infernal. And they're going to move right back down to the bottom lane, clean up this wave. Teton feeling pretty good so far. 1 kill to his name. Building a bit of a CS lead here now. Wiz down here does have the Eye of the Herald if they want to secure some plates. Desave going to clear out this wave, and it looks like Wiz wants to stay to try and secure this tower. Ward over the wall from JoJo will not get them any information now. They should know now that Wiz is here as Rift Herald is dropped. That's going to get the charge real easy. And some more gold for the side of Kabum.
Yep, some gold in the pockets of Desave. This is how you need to play. You want to shut down Teton as early in this game as possible and try to get Desave up on top there, and that's what they're working towards now with this Rift Herald. So plenty of gold there into the guys' pockets. Hopefully you're able to complete that man immune as quickly as possible. Just one thing I want to point out, I don't really like talking about items too much. It's kind of boring, but we've had a lot of weird items so far this series, so we've ended up talking about them a lot. It's Stridebreaker for Aegis. Can't remember the last time I saw a Stridebreaker, so that should be at least a little bit of fun. I imagine this is more of like a pick thing for him, you know, helping him out, try to stick to people, stick onto them. 3v2 here at the top side.
Uh-oh, Guigo does have ultimate available, so he can ult out of trouble if he so chooses. Is not going to be able to do so, though. Wiz gets up there, and they're able to secure the kill. Grevthar in this brush will be spotted out, thanks to a ward there from Skuro, and Kabum able to tie things up in the kills department. Meanwhile, the red bottom lane getting the push going, looking for their third tower plate down here as Teton just trying to stack up the gold as best he can. 20 CS lead right now for this Jinx that has got to be feeling great about how this early game is playing out.
Yeah, I'd imagine so, right? And they're getting lots of CS. They're getting the plating down for this Jinx. Jinx got the cull on Teton here. He's almost able to proc that one. Last time we saw Jinx with a cull, did not complete it until 19 minutes. So a little bit better this go around for this Jinx. Gale Force completed now for him. Should look for tier 2 boots relatively soon into a second item. Manamoon completed by Desave. So things not quite even. You got like an Econ AD carry with a roaming support, and you're just not going to win bot lane. You're looking to create advantages elsewhere.
You certainly are. Gold dead even. So as you mentioned a few minutes ago, nothing to write home about in terms of the gold leads here. 13 minutes in, 1 Drake down, 1 Herald down as well. 2 minutes to Hextech Drake. No Hextech Soul here in game 4. They spoiled you in the first 2 games, my friend, so now they are keeping it away from you here later in the series. Red Canids, though, trying to get control of this bot side river. Aegis going to be able to easily pick up the bot lane Scuttle Crab and go back to clearing out his jungle. 1.5 minutes till this next Drake.
It's going to be a long 1.5 minutes here, too, as everybody seems very content staying far back in the lane. It's really just Teton and JoJo pushing up, with Guigo pushing up top side as that matchup has turned into the Malphite's favor a little bit there up top side, but yeah, everybody else just kind of going even, staying safe, trying to scale up, and nothing else too much happening. You know, I'll tell you one thing I was surprised about so far this series, Yeso, was that JoJo, we talked about the Renata, played Renata several times. We think they're maybe thinking a little bit too highly of that pick. Honestly, I'm expecting more like Alistar from JoJo. Tom Kench, stuff like that, stuff we've seen him on the regular season, but just really did fall back onto Nautilus after the Renata was banned.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that pick can be a game changer for the team here. Is able to get there onto the Leona, and that's the ultimate from Aegis under tower. The shield will keep the Kai'Sa alive momentarily, but nowhere near long enough. The ultimate from Skuro locking down these targets for now, but the tower will fall, and soon does Skuro as well. It's a 2-for-0 in the bottom lane for Red Canids.
Beautiful. Even as I'm trashing the Nautilus pick, he's making it work here. I think it might be the super fed Jinx, the super fed Nocturne, helping him along there a little bit, but hey, can't knock it if it's working, so good on him. Got that call completed finally. And tier 2 boots there up for the Jinx as well. Grevthar just instantly feared by the Vex. That feels awful, man. Um, he picked the LeBlanc into this, right? He knew what would happen. I don't know. Doesn't seem super optimal, but I guess we'll have to see going forward. JoJo here in the mid lane now. They almost lost their mid lane for that bot lane push, but they're able to keep it alive just barely. So profitable for them. Looking for the dragon now. It's their second dragon.
Yeah, meanwhile in the mid lane,
Wow.
we are fighting. JoJo going in. House has arrived in the fight. Skuro going to go down, but can they get anything in return? Teton very excited, firing away rockets there onto House. Second Drake was picked up in the meantime by Aegis, and Grepthar wants to go in. Super Mega Death Rocket will land, but it's not going to secure a kill. But JoJo may be soon to go down. Flash in from Parang to secure the kill, and he will be able to do it, but immediately traded back. And here comes Guigo right onto the backline. Good night to Save. House down as well. And just like that, Kabum are taken out. Wiz is here. He is getting poked at, trying to go in to secure the kill onto Guigo, but not going to be able to do it. Skuro has arrived late, but will go into his death. Wiz has fallen. There's 4 players here just for the one of Kabum. It's a double kill and an ace there for Grevthar and Red Canids.
I cannot believe it. They're going to break open that mid lane turret after getting the dragon, after getting that bot lane turret play as well with the double kill. They're going to follow up with this play. Cannot believe this. What a fantastic engage from JoJo. Looking for the hook, getting it in, going golden. Teton following up beautifully. Getting get so much damage down before finally wiping out this wave, and they're back in, baby. Grevthar with the tether is back out. JoJo finally picks up that Nautilus death, that post 15 he's looking for. Parang goes down almost instantly. What an ultimate from Guigo, man. Double knockup. Come on, you can't ask for better than that. Gale Force forward from Teton picks up another. Wiz, maybe the hero here. I feel like that could have been a counter penta from Wiz, but he's the best Lee Sin in the league, and if he can't do it, no one can do it. So
we seem to be very close as
my.
Grevthar is going to go down here. That's a kill for Desave. So Kabum getting something back. Big shutdown there.
Yeah.
We're getting very close to a possible Red Canids Pain Gaming finals here in Split 1 and CBLOL. It felt like everybody had their eyes set on Furia and Kabum meeting at the end of this bracket, and we may have neither of them in the finals for Split 1 here. Quite a turn of events as Red Canids have turned it on in this series. Looked really rough to start off, but they have been great over the last 2 games here. And to start off game 3, they are crushing Kabum here.
Yeah, they really are. They're up like 3K, maybe 4K. Yeah, 4K, I think. And a lot of that gold is stacked exactly where it needs to be on your carries on Grevthar and Teton. And Teton, just absolutely monster right now. He's got the RFC there. So you want to go for the RFC when you're not into something that's not another hyper carry. So when, there we go. Malphite maybe caught out here. Whoa! Jeez.
Wow, Kabum. They were all in on that play, jumping onto Guigo under his tier 2 tower. They will get the kill. Not sure how much that is going to get Kabum. Here's a Super Mega Death Rocket. Will cancel a couple of recalls here. Meanwhile, Red trying to get things done on the rest of the map. They're able to push that mid lane wave forward. Grevthar, meanwhile, top side looking to take down this tier 1 tower would be the 3rd secured by the side of Red Canids here, as that one is going to fall. Pings up towards the top lane. Baron up in just a minute.
They can take it too. They can absolutely take it there with the Jinx.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. The list of compositions that can take Baron at, that cannot take Baron at 22 minutes does not include Jinx. So Teton, along with Aegis, should be able to burn that down fairly quickly. They're setting up a bit of a death brush here in the river, but will immediately back away to trim this mid lane wave. They want to keep Kabum away from that mid lane tier 1. A lot of damage here onto Skuro, and Skuro's going to go down. Easy pickup there for Teton. 6-1 and 2 on the Jinx. And hey, we talked about it last game. Was it the Jinx or was it the pick comp? You said it's the pick comp, and what do you know? Red Canids, they've got a Nautilus, they've got a Malphite, you've got a Nocturne. That's a pick comp if I've ever seen one with a Jinx, and it's working so far.
Yeah, no, it's working wonders. 6-1-2 on this Jinx, basically unstoppable. The only thing you would ever like add a caveat to, oh, here we go, Nocturne all the way in, creating space.
Oh, big trouble in the top lane as there goes Grevthar and Goodnight House. Parang trying to escape, will not be able to do so as Teton picks up another kill. And Guigo looking for more, trying to stick to Wiz here. Knows he isn't going to have the damage, so just backs away and says, yeah, I'll just take the wave. I don't really care about the Lee Sin here. Meanwhile, Skuro and Desave maybe looking for something here. That's the dash in from Desave, and they just delete Grevthar. Flash over the wall, well timed from Desave to keep the Kaisa alive as the mid lane tower does fall. So some extra gold in the pocket there for Kabum as they're trying to keep their hopes for a Game 5 alive.
The best part about the way Red has played this pick comp so far is that they're not inting too much. So usually you'll see a lot of deaths. Ooh, we go. Maybe giving them one death there.
Yeah, Skuro gonna get caught here. Everybody on Red just turns onto the Leona, and Skuro is dead. Drake up now would put Red on Soul Point. Wiz in the area. Already has some key steals in this series, though you'll have to call all the way back to game 1 to find them.
Yeah, 100%. And what I was saying is that a lot of the time the champions that are looking for picks, like the Nautilus, the Ahri, stuff like that, they're going to die a lot because they have to play super forward to look for those picks. It hasn't happened so far for Red, right? We just had the 1 death for the Nautilus, the 2 deaths for the block, 0 for Nocturne, and all the deaths are really going on in this front line, Guigo, and it's still just 4, right? That's less deaths than we saw in the Orion from last game. Less deaths certainly than the Ahri. Ooh, big ultimate from the map.
They want to get onto Guigo, but the response is on its way from Red Canids, but Wiz has at least taken the top laner down. But Parang is dead as well. Jojo has arrived. They're going to lock Wiz down, and it's all going wrong for Kabum. House trying to get away, but Grevthar maybe wants to go forward, will back away as Skuro spotted in the brush there. But they were looking for a home run pick there, possibly in the bottom lane, and it gets turned around as Red Canids counter punching at every turn.
They really are. There's always an answer back for them now. And again, like even you talk about the game, like the expected history, right, for a pick like Nocturne post 20 minutes. The whole deal is you just ult and you create a bunch of space, create that vision disparity for the enemy team. Then you go in and try to absorb as much pressure as you can, create that space so your carries can move in. You expect like a playstyle like that to have at least 1 death, right? But he hasn't died, and he's building the GA. He's still playing that playstyle, and he's just not dying ever. That's how in control Red are of this game right now.
Let's see just how this game continues to pan out. 5,000 gold lead here for Red Canids, even in towers for both teams. But you can see the kills heavily skewed in favor of Red Canids, as well as the neutral objectives. They have 3 Drakes to their name and are 3 minutes away from possibly another soul secured for the side of Red Canids. They're now looking to get some vision control of the blue side jungle for Kabum, which means they have their eyes set on this Baron. But Aegis maybe first has his eyes set on House's life and will be able to take it. It's a killing spree for the Nocturne. He's going to trim up that wave real nice, but I imagine Red going to immediately turn back for this Baron. Huge opportunity here for the side of Red Canids. That Baron could be their ticket to the finals here. They're going to just clean up the rest of the jungle here. Desave looking to poke out, get some vision, get some information about what's going on here. And Red Canids just want to get Kabum as far away from this Baron as they can. Pings onto that area. And it looks like Aegis maybe going to start it off. That wave cleaned up there. Teton, though, caught by the poke of Desave, has to flash away. Ooh. And the poke, once again, Teton with the Gale Force will get out of trouble. But interestingly enough, that is enough to discourage the Baron take from the side of Red.
Yeah, I don't think Red ever wanted to go for the Baron here. I think they're terrified at present time of Wiz stealing objectives, as well they should be, right? I mean, the guy's a legend. He's on his champion, right? They might as well change the name of the champion to Wiz at this point. It would make more sense for him, but you see all the vision they set up there, all the space they had to make. They had a man advantage as they had picked somebody off earlier. They picked off House, I think. And they still don't start it up, and that's because Wiz is still on the map, and they cannot start up an objective like Baron, which is going to turn the whole tide of this game with him still up. But yeah, getting poked out, Teton losing a bunch of health, yeah, that'll stop your Baron play real quick. He's back on the map now. It's just unfortunately Kabum are pushing in elsewhere as they set up for this next dragon. Might just try to rush it down.
They certainly could. Again, we talked about it earlier. Aegis and Teton, they bring the damage to take it down pretty darn quickly. And the interesting thing to note here, it's something we talked about earlier on in the series when we saw the Baron sneak from the side of Kabum, that, you know, when that focus gets drawn towards the Drake, there's an opportunity to get in here for the Baron when they're not looking. Grevthar is going to get picked off here. Flash in from Wiz to secure the kill. So the mid laner for Red Canids is down, and that has said has convinced Red Canids to back off of the Baron. So Kabum, again, one play onto one member is enough to buy them just a little bit more time.
Right, and this is how the comp functions too, right? The comp doesn't function. You stand there taking objective, and the enemy team engages onto you. It's the opposite, right? I mean, you want to show up to a team that's taking an objective, pick off a couple members, then win the team fight after your Jinx is excited. If you play that in reverse, things start getting a little dicey. Now, are they ahead enough that they could pull that off? I think they probably could, but they haven't tried it up till this point.
Baron started here by Red Canids. They lost Grevthar, but they knew that Kabum immediately turned back towards the Drake to prevent the soul pickup, and they have started the Baron. TP in from Grevthar, and that's a big pick there as Skuro's gonna go down. While the Leona is not necessarily a priority target, it just means that those carries are so much safer in these fights. Wiz on the other side of the wall, spotted out by a ward. Ultimate there from the Nautilus, gonna stop him from getting in, at least for the time being. 2,700 health on the Baron there.
They're not going to do it. They're
Yeah,
terrified
they're
that
gonna
he's going
back
to steal
away.
it.
And understandably so.
Yeah.
Wiz, you know, again, call back to game one. Wiz's smites were incredibly clutch, but we do have to note that Aegis also had a smite steal of his own in game three. So both of these junglers have been clutch with the smite in this series. And honestly, if I'm Red Canids, I don't hate this, right? Take the higher percentage play. If you risk that Baron and Kabum gets it, they almost draw right back to even. That can totally turn this game on its head. So Red Canids just need to find a fight, take out Wiz, and then it's time for Baron.
Yep, couldn't agree more there. You got to get Wiz down, or just have such an overwhelming, like, commanding map control. Set up, you know, get a vision, or just, you know, have vision of him across the map, you know, all that good stuff. There are ways you could do this. You can also just pull the trigger, right? I know a lot of teams in CBLOL in this league that would pull the trigger on that and say, all right, Wiz, try to give us your best shot. But none of those teams are in playoffs anymore, Yeso, and that could be the reason why, right? It's just that that little bit of caution there. We go. It's got the teleport up, so a little bit out of position. No teams that would have gone in on that Malphite too, so.
Yeah, Red Canids once again trying to get vision control here on the blue side, get these waves pushed, kind of dot their I's, cross their T's, get all the setup taken care of for this Baron. And ideally, Wiz and Desave are those important targets. If you can get one or both of those down, it opens up a huge opportunity to play for that Baron. But Kabum playing very safe, biding their time here. Skuro waiting in this brush, hoping that they can set up some sort of play. Desave able to scout out a little bit there with the Void Seeker. Not going to land onto anybody. Guigo, meanwhile,
Oh, they
stepping
want that
forward, maybe
pick.
looking for Parang. They're going to get onto House here, but Hao is able to reactively hit the Zanyas to buy some time. Skuro trying to stall,
Oh,
flashes
Wiz
over
on
the
the
wall to get away,
backline.
but that's House into the backline. But do they have the damage follow-up? They've already taken House out. They turn on to Wiz. Grevthar is dead, but Wiz soon to follow. That's Teton going legendary as two are dead on the side of Kabum. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Red Canids. They've turned on to the Baron. Kabum need a response right now. Desave is full health. Parang is still here. They've got quite a bit of poke, so they can just stall here
Yeah.
against Red Canids.
Ooh, big
Oh,
rocket.
Super Mega Death Rocket. Not able to finish it off,
They're
but some
not
more
gonna
damage down to
take it.
Skuro.
Yeah, they're gonna back off it. It's the poke this time. They're not healthy enough, they feel, to withstand that poke. Of course, the poke can also just steal the objective too, right? So you want to be careful of that as well. I think they might just be playing from the standpoint where, like, look, we don't need this power play. We're in the lead, right? The only thing that going for this Baron can do for us is put us further in the lead, which we might not need, or it can give the enemy team an opportunity to make a comeback. So it's very dicey going for this every single time that they look for it. And keep in mind, I mean, Baron's not it's not their bag, right? Dragon Soul is their bag. So, you know, making these risky plays around the Baron, not super worth it when you have that Dragon coming up in under a minute. And they're going to look to do that now. Pushing out the mid lane, pushing out that bot lane down there too with Guigo. Yeah, this is the Dragon play. You send up that vision, you see the Nautilus in the jungle. This should be an easy take for Red, but there's lots of steal opportunity for Kabum. Wiz is up. He's on the map. Are they taking Baron right now?
They've
There's
started
no
it.
way. There's no vision.
Red seemed to smell something. Yeah, Super Mega Death Rocket into the pit. They had an inkling that Kabum had started it. A couple of things I want to note here. One, you talked earlier about interesting builds. We got another one here as it is the full AP Kaisa
Oh, yeah.
for Desave. So the poke, those Void Seekers do a ton of damage here for Desave. Another thing to note, 10 minutes ago, this game felt like, Reds to
Teton's
lose.
taking the
They
soul.
had
He's got the
everything they
soul.
could have asked for, and they got the soul. Okay, so that's important. That is going to make Red that much more difficult to kill. So well done from
Yeah.
Teton getting there to pick that up. But it felt like Red's game to lose, and now it's
Oh!
completely turned on his head. But how's this taking out Grefthar? But they're able to turn it around and take out the Vex. Now here's Teton, very excited and looking for more, trying to get onto Wiz here. Wiz gonna get caught by the dredge line, almost taken out. That's a double kill for Teton. Here comes Red Canids. Parade trying to turn it around, but it's a triple for the Jinx. And Desave, the only member alive. Red Canids are going to get their Baron. Can they turn this into the win? Super Mega Death Rocket will not land, but Jojo just standing there zoning as best
Ooh,
he
there you
can.
go.
The zone will do it. Desave cannot steal the Baron. It's picked up by Red Canids, and just like that, the upset could be so close to complete.
Not only is this one of the best souls that you can have on a hyper carry like Jinx, and on specifically Jinx too, but it's also just like really good for Malphite, really good for Nautilus. You know, you're stacking a bunch of shields up there, getting a bunch of those resistances down too, so you can build more health, all that good stuff. But also just having those passive shields eliminates poke, right? And that's what Kabum are bringing to the table, is so much poke. They built the AP Kai'Sa. They had Prang on Jace. That's so much poke that's being eliminated by this Dragon Soul rocket out. Not going to connect. That's a low cooldown, man. Holy cow. But yeah, you get that. Yeah, GA comes through from Teton. I think this has to go the way of Red, but that means it's the whole series going the way of Red, Yeso. And I can't believe it. I can't suspend disbelief long enough for me to imagine Red winning this series in not even 5 games, in 4 games.
I mean, we started off the series talking about the fact that, hey, I think Red is good enough to take one game off of Kabum. Ultimately, they're gonna lose, but they can take a game. They're good enough to do that. And now we're looking at the fact that Kabum may get out of the series with only one win, which is crazy. Red looking so good since a game one that really just went awry. We were talking about all of the positioning mistakes and how they got so heavily punished for it. But we did, mention, hey, if you can fix those mistakes, it was a good showing from Red, and they have done exactly that. They have not been perfect, but they have been much cleaner since game one, and it's why they're in this position to win the series right now. They're breaking bot lane inhibitor as we speak, Axeman. Red Canids on the precipice of going to another CBLOL final.
Hey, it's incredible. I am beside myself simply. And watching this comp that Red drafted work against the poke with the spell shield from Aegis, just all the passive shields, active shields this team has on it. You're never getting that poke through to Teton, and that's what has to happen for Kabum to win a fight. And it just seems very unwinnable for them at this stage. At the 3K power play there so far from Red. And yeah, I think this might be it, Yeso. I don't see a way through for them.
It's just, and it's crazy too, because it felt like Kabum had played so patiently and had really inched their way back into this game, and
well, hey,
it was nowhere near enough. They have picked off Aegis here, but the rest of Red doesn't care. They're like, yeah, okay, take our jungler, we'll take your base. They're going to take a second inhibitor here. Kabum looking to set up a flank, but they do have to be careful. Guigo is going to have his ultimate available in this fight. Will get stunned. Good bit of poke there onto Guigo. He's going to ult out of trouble. So this is a huge opportunity for Kabum. A big ultimate off the table. Can they get in here? Traps down, slows out from this Jinx, and they will get Aegis and nothing more.
That's it. Super minions hitting the Nexus turrets. Never a good sign for you. Prang able to clear those up in just a little bit. Anathema's change completed from Guigo. And yeah, just that much harder to kill, right? No dragon up for another minute and 30 seconds yet. That's the Elder coming up. That is one avenue Kabum could use to get back in this game, but that is quite the Hail Mary at this stage if they're going to steal that. They got Wiz on Lee Sin. If anybody can make the miracle steal, it's him, but there are so many things standing in his way.
Sabe just trying to throw this poke out, but Guigo and Jojo don't care.
Yeah.
It is such negligible damage to this beefy frontline for the side of Red Canids. And it ultimately has this Kaisa build kind of falling on its face here in the late game. We're going to have to see if magic can happen here for Kabum as Red Canids have their eyes set on a third inhibitor. Solar Flare will not land on any significant targets there for Skuro. And Teton hitting the penguin dab there. Ooh! Oh, is going to get caught by House, but nowhere near enough damage. Backing away is Teton. They've got the shutdown onto Desave, who tried to get in and take out the Jinx, but it doesn't matter. Super Mega Death Rocket will miss, but Kabum will fall. Red Canids are going to take their third inhibitor. They're going to take the Nexus. They're going to take their third game, and they're going to take a trip to the CBLOL Split 1 Finals. Pain Gaming versus Red Canids 2 weeks from now.
There we go. You love to see it, man. Teton celebration. Everyone's so happy there for Red. I love it, man.